Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, and this one happens to have the new factory installed winch. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Jeep here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Wrangler. This particular Rubicon is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 20 on the highway, with power outputs being 270 horsepower and then 295 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So we've got the Rubicon signature hood vents right there, which look really cool. And this one's finished in high velocity, which is definitely a bright color. Got the LED lights here on the fenders, or fender flares rather, I should say. And then you guys can see the LED headlights. And then this one has the darker grille. I think this is the way to go on the new Wrangler because this looks a lot better than when it's all body painted, just my personal opinion. And then you guys can see we've got the upgraded bumper. Steel bumper, you've got the red tow hooks, and then this one has the new factory winch. And when you put it all together, it just looks so cool. And a quick comment on the winch, I will have a YouTube short posted later on how to use the winch for those of you that are wondering. Now, popping on the side here, we've got 33s wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see with the wheel design, they've changed it a little bit for 24. I think it looks really cool. And you got a little old school Jeep there in the center as well. Now, we do have shocks that are specific here to the Rubicon. And then you guys can see here with the fender flares, and then notice Rubicon there on the side, and then the Jeep badge down below. And then we do have rock rail protection as well. And when you put it all together again, in this bright color, it definitely pops. Now, here's a quick look at the key fob. We have our unlock function, our lock function, remote start, and then the Jeep logo there on the back. And popping into the back, first off, it's really easy to open up the tailgate portion. It's very light. And then yeah, the glass obviously as well. But yeah, being a 4-door, we've got quite a bit of storage space here in the back. We also have a 12-volt here in the back. And then I love how it's body painted. It's so bright inside because of the color bleeding into the interior. Really cool. And then when you're all done, just window first, as always. Tailgate second. Boom. We've got the LED taillights here in the back, and then you guys can see the red recovery hook. And then we've got the full-sized spare tire with the camera in the center of the tire. Putting it all together, let me know your thoughts on this spec, especially with this bright paint. Now, popping inside, we've got padding here where you're going to rest your arm, and then you guys can see the little netting down below. And then taking a look at the seats, we've got these cloth seats with the red stitching to signify it is a Rubicon. Now, legroom back here is really good. We also have little netting, some vents here for the rear passengers, window controls, and then a bunch of outlets and some cup holders. And then, by the way, headroom's good. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see again with the padding, we've got our door lock and unlock, we've got our mirror adjustments, and then there's a quick look at the mirrors. Now, with this one, we've got 850 pounds of payload capacity, and then Rubicon there on the seat, which is really cool. Again, I like these new cloth seats. I think they look great. Manual adjustments here on the side as well, and we got our light controls with our fog lights button right there in the center, and then look at the new kind of dash design, and then steering wheel's manually adjustable. Now, taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see nice trim all around. We've got red stitching there on the center again to signify it's Rubicon. Radio controls on the back of the steering wheel with our cruise control, adaptive cruise control, controls for the center stack, voice command, phone controls on top of that, and then your regular stocks there on the back. We've got this cool gauge cluster. You guys can see RPMs on the left side and then speed over there on the right side. And then we've got a bunch of different menus here in the center, which you can use to scroll through to see different bits of info on systems within the vehicle itself. My favorite is always obviously the off-road status right there. Now, in reverse, we do have a backup camera here. The trajectory lines are turned off, but you can also turn those on if you want. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, we've got dual zone climate, we got heated seats and a heated steering wheel. And I like the little vehicle tab out. It's a Jeep. This one doesn't have the front-facing camera, but you can get it with the winch because I had a 392 the other week that had that. But anyways, pretty good response time with this new infotainment system. And then you guys can see the stitching at the top of the dash, and then also you can see it down below. And then we got the new style of grab handle here. And then in the center, we've got our analog controls for the radio, the climate controls, heated seats, heated steering wheel. You've got stuff like your auto stop start, stability control, off-road cruise control. your little, they call it the media thing there with the USBs. Window controls here in the center, 12 volts, and then auxiliary switches behind the shifter for the 8-speed automatic. And then we have our Off-Road Plus sway bar disconnect. We have our front and rear lockers, because again, it's a Rubicon, and then our 4-wheel drive select. So we've got 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and 4-wheel low. Now here in the center, we've got some cup holder action. That's the little key holder. We've got a traditional parking brake, and then some nice padding here in the center console. Good storage space overall. And then you can see with the glove box, also pretty solid. Now here's a quick look at the mirror, manual mirror dimmer, and then we do have the hard top with this. Pretty easy to take off the top itself, just got those little latches there. The back you do need to use tools. So here's our window sticker for this Rubicon. You guys can see base MSRP is $49,395. This one has a few options. So the steel bumper plus the winch is a $3,500 option. The winch just by itself, because on the 392 is like a $2,000 option. So I guess they're charging $1,500 for the bumper, $2,000 for the winch. Anyways, total MSRP is $60,440. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And with that being said, let's set off. So obviously I've already done a 24 Rubicon review. I've even done a 24 Rubicon 392 review, but I wanted to review this one because I feel like this is probably the package to get on the 24 for a lot of people. Again, having the Rubicon, but then also having the steel bumper and the new factory winch. I will talk about the winch at the end of the video because I think that it's got a lot more utility than people maybe realize. So first off, with this new Rubicon, I talked about this in other 24 Wrangler videos. They've added some more sound deadening. It does help out. This one doesn't have all the sound deadening stuff, so it doesn't have the insulation at the top, but it is a quieter experience inside. Obviously, we also have the new infotainment system. That's another big change with the 24 Wranglers. And with the screen itself, I'm still on the fence, honestly, because I do like some of the functions on it, but then some of the things on it, I kind of prefer the old infotainment system, just kind of my personal take. Now, this 2.0 turbo is a really good engine. Of course, every time it starts to accelerate, fuel light, every single car, it's so funny. But yeah, I really like the 2.0 turbo. It's been shown to actually be pretty reliable. The 3.6 liter V6 is obviously a more simplistic engine, so ultimately that one's probably gonna be more reliable, but this is still a good powertrain. It's got good torque, especially here at high elevation. We're at, well, actually I can show you guys. Right here is like 4,500 feet if I remember right. Let's go to dashboard, off-road pages. 4,300 feet elevation, so I overestimated by a little bit. But yeah, it definitely helps out to have a turbocharged engine at this high of elevation, almost a mile up, right? Yeah, just torque. The transmission's also pretty, it's smooth, but it's also pretty quick. So it does a good job overall. And I like the ride quality. I think they did slightly improve the ride quality. It's not too big of a difference. Again, this is a refresh rather than a full-on redesign with the Wrangler. So there are going to be changes, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit on the lighter side. See, the turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder actually feels quick. The V6 does not. So to sum things up, I do like most of the changes with the 24 Wrangler. I think that, again, refreshing it, I think it helps out a bit, making it more daily drivable. Now with the winch, $3,500, I get is a lot of money, but first off, that's just because the Rubicon does not come standard with the steel bumper. So you're getting the bumper plus the winch. And here's my personal take on it. I think the winch has a lot of utility, even if you don't go off-roading a bunch. First off, it's always good to be prepared. If you do off-road, like, having a winch is better than not having a winch, just in case, right? Just in case you're in a situation where you get stuck, like, you're gonna, if you don't have one, you're gonna be like, man, I wish I had one. I wish I had a winch. I wish I had a shovel, right? Whatever you don't have, you wish you had it. That's the first part of it. The second part is, honestly, like, winches are great for just random utility stuff to do. Like, the Rubicon 392 that I had for the week as a tester, I used that winch to pull out trees in my yard. Now, right now, at least here in Utah, getting trees pulled out is super expensive. Like, I got quoted on most of these trees about $200 to $300 per tree to cut it down. And then I got quoted another $200 to $300 plus to pull the stump out, right? So this winch, again, $2,000, right? $2,000, and all you have to do in your yard is pull out, like, at least here in Utah, you have to pull out like 4 trees, and then you've already paid for the winch. So that's just kind of my take on it. Is there's a lot of other stuff you can use it for. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the new Rubicon. Let me know what you think about the new winch, but I'm glad you can get it from the factory.